Tortured. It's From the Front Row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
Yeah, my jaw still hurts. I know it's been a week, but god dang, dude, it hits hard, man. You know what? You mean you got some breaking news, Flip? What news could you possibly have that's that breaking for WPA? Oh, yeah. Breaking news. The Cowboys suck. You're a funny guy, Flip. Glad I'm not a Cowboys fan. Do they even really have fans? Yeah, who cares? What's up, folks? It's me, Johnathan T. Rokford, here with another edition of From the Front Row. And I don't know what the bookers were thinking this week when they set up matches, but god dang, they had performers all over the place. We started off with some traditional single matches that was enjoyable to most of the fans in attendance, barring a couple of them. But we started with Martel the Carpenter versus the Horror Show Homvik. Horror Show must have been scared of Martel or something. I mean, I don't know how your name is Horror Show and you're scared of somebody whose name is Carpenter. I mean, the guy didn't even show up. I don't know if he was out hunting teenagers at camps or something or what. But the bell rang. The ref started counting. And then the bell rang again when the ref hit 10. And Martel the Carpenter won. Yeah. You know, come on, Horror Show. You don't want to lose to Martel like that. Come on, make him do some work. Now, our next match was between Mark 69 and Goobly Goonster. Gigi, I'm gonna start calling you Gigi. Gigi. Gigi and Mark 69 fought to a time limit draw. They fought so hard. They was all over the arena, pouncing each other off the tables, off the ring posts, throwing each other into the crowd. Made it back into the ring before the 10 count, but by the time they would even try to pick up a pin, time ran out. It was a good match, actually. Now in our next match, we had the Master Sean Puff taking on the brass hole of the Killer Goons. And it seems the Master has found his kryptonite. I mean, he caught out Jalen Masters and he lost to Jalen Masters. He's also now lost to the brass hole as the brass hole was able to defeat him. Brass hole ain't no slouch, bro. He has a set of brass ones. Not his hole. Cojones. But another loss for the Master after just losing to Jermaine Walker last week. You know, you can't get title shots if you keep losing. And, you know, granted, I know he's part of the Trios champions, but that's a team effort. Now, in our next match, we had Money, MF, and Mike, also of the Killer Goons, taking on Sean Puff's teammate, Chrysalis. Now, that match, that was another good match. But they didn't make it back into the ring before the ref's 10 count, and both people got counted out. You know it would be a good match, Flip. The Master Sean Puff and Chrysalis versus Killer Goons, Brass Hole, Money, MF, and Mike. I'd pay to see that. Hell, you could throw Red Death in there if he ain't doing nothing, and throw Casper on the other one and see who's got the better trios team. Yeah, put the titles up for that. You know, hey. Now, in our next match, we had Quanty Fist taking on Captain Chaos, and after suffering a loss last week, to Johnny Rocco, Corny Fist looked to come back and pick up a win, even though nobody wants to lose to anybody named Corny. Unless you're from Ohio, I guess. Because Captain Chaos lost to somebody named Corny. It was, yeah. Johnny Rocco was sitting over there laughing. Which I was wondering why Johnny Rocco was sitting in the front row, because he should have been on his way to his match. He kept saying he had time. He's on the phone a lot, too. Yeah. Now, in our next match, we had Robert Isaiah Salea versus South Bronx Savage, and Robert Isaiah Salea was able to pick up the win. Ooh, he dominated. Dominated South Bronx. Come on, South Bronx, represent. Oh, no, I mean it was a good match, but woof. He just couldn't. South Bronx couldn't keep up with Robert. I really wish he would change that name. Now, in our next scheduled match, we had Big Mel scheduled to take on the Supreme Knight. The Supreme Knight must have been out somewhere in Gotham or one of them other cities cleaning up the neighborhoods or something, because he didn't show up. Big Mel was awarded the win and given a night off. What a lucky sucker. He's lucky. Didn't have to do no work going into Elimination Chamber. Ah. And he's got a title shot, too. Ah. Speaking of which, tonight's What the Fuck moment is brought to you by the match featuring the Big J Bowski, our WPA champion, and his challenger, Luscious Lucius, who we haven't seen in a while since, he lost to Johnny Rocco. And folks, I don't know what training he was doing while he was gone. Or maybe News Reporter Lady gave him some. I don't know. But he picked up a win over the world champ.
Say what? Say what?
It's bad enough this guy calls himself he's a self-professed world champ with no belt in his hands. But god dang it. I don't mean no harm. And please, Mr. J. Bowski, don't take this the wrong way. But ever since you kind of lightened up, ever since that match with the Darkstalker, I don't care which one you pick, you have, I'm not going to say soft, but you haven't been as dominant. Yeah, you beat the Darkstalker twice, but that's not a big deal. You lost to Luscious Lucius, though. I mean, hell, even Johnny Rocco beat him. Like, come on. You're a world champ. You can't be losing matches like that. Heading into a pay-per-view? If you're losing to Luscious Lucius like that, Big Mel's probably licking his chops right now. I'm just saying. Now, speaking of cities, we traveled to Jump City for a Jump City Alley Brawl, and we had the Messiah versus the Goonfather versus Switchblade versus the Emperor 2K Anomalium. Or so we thought. Goonfather decided not to show up. Must have had some business with some people. I mean, he was in Jump City. It has a very good criminal element there, too. Now, we had special guest referee Sticky Joe on scene. And Sticky Joe is known to be kind of controversial. And he showed why, folks, as both the Messiah and the Switchblade tried to pin the Emperor, and Sticky Joe kind of counted to both of them and awarded both people the win. Like, come on, we see that every so often, especially in a match like this. It is what it is, folks. Now, our next match was a Fairfield Asylum match. hardcore at that. Tag team. There's so many people at Fairfield. God, we're gonna owe them so much money, doing so much damage. And we had the teams of Shepard Bain and Casper 2779 versus Johnny Rocco, our resident psycho, teaming with the First Lady Alexa Leslie versus Needles Kane, teaming with Hikaru Hartwell. Now, I don't know what Johnny Rocco was doing. Half the time he was on the phone. The other half of the time he was not there. I mean, he did show up when his partner was in trouble to make sure she was good to go. But he kept disappearing. Nevertheless, Johnny Rocco and the First Lady picked up the win when the First Lady pinned Needles Kane. Yeah. It was a good win for him. You know, Johnny Rocco seems to be he's pretty good in tag team matches. Yeah. Yeah, it was at Fairfield Asylum. Oh. Oh. No, you don't. Yeah, he wouldn't do that, would he? Flip, don't give me no more bad news. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, our next match. Are you serious? Really? Oh, God. Well, he already got me, so I don't know what he's planning on doing with him. What do you mean he was asking about Philip? Well, have you called? Talk about this in a minute. Folks, what was that? Oh, our next match. It was a Texas Tornado tag team match, folks. And it featured Jermaine Walker teaming with the Prince of Crime Delirious and Lycan Umbros versus and Nergante teaming up. And folks, it seemed like the Prince of Crime couldn't hold his weight with Jermaine. And Lycan Umbros pinned Delirious, picking up the win for his team. Now, afterwards, he did go venture over and started watching the Game Changer match that was going on between Big Mel and Shona Campbell, which Shona was able to win it after a tough battle. And she decided to be a little creative and decided to make it a fatal four-way between herself, Lycan Umbros, Bobby Blaze, and Hikaru Hartwell. And folks, Shona lost it that quick. It was a walk-off, as Lycan Umbros was able to pin Bobby Blaze, of all people. Mr. I'm the greatest game changer ever. And he got pinned. Yeah. And Lycan didn't waste any time. He caught out his first challenger, the Emperor 2K Anomaly. They will be facing each other very soon, folks. Whew. What a night. Such posers. Now, our next match was a St. Valentine's death match with the team of Crazy Canuck and Essential Jayla Masters versus Bobby Blaze and Lucha Libre. And once again, Bobby Blaze gets pinned. This time by the Crazy Canuck. And folks, this was one violent ass match. There was barbed wire, fluorescent light bulbs, tables on fire with barbed wire on it. I think there was a pizza cutter there too. And folks, by all accords, this match was right up Jayla Masters' alley. You know he is MDK all day. But it was Wednesday, though. That would explain why Crazy Canuck pinned it. Okay, never mind. But Crazy Canuck picked up the win for his team. And now they'll move on to the Elimination Chamber and face each other. That's going to be crazy. All those guys are going to be facing each other. You know, I'm seeing what somebody did now. They took everybody in the Elimination Chamber matches and teamed them up and had them face each other or tag with each other and face each other. That's ingenious. Not really. Now, in our next match, we had the WPA Triple Threat Championship up for grabs. And it was Texas Hate You versus Shona Campbell versus the Wraith. And folks, we have ourselves a new Triple Threat Champion, as Shona Campbell was able to pick up the win by pinning Texas Hate You. See, I told you. That's what the breaking news was when you said the Cowboys suck, huh? Because they're from Texas. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a good one, Flip. Yeah. You got some jokes. Now, so congratulations to Shona Campbell for her Triple Threat Championship. She has now, since she got freed, she's been on a roll. Yeah. Now, our next match was it was for the TV title. And we had the Beast taking on Lady Assassin. And not only this has been a main event, but we had a couple qualifiers coming up that needed some time. And folks, it must have been ladies' night here at WPA, because Lady Assassin is our new TV champ. I want to make her two-time TV champ. Congratulations to the ladies tonight. They picked up the title. They picked up gold. And I thought Diamonds was a girl's best friend, but WPA titles. Yeah. I still can't believe he's out. God damn it. Our next match saw the Dark Stalker taking on the Super Champion King. And once again, I don't know, folks. It was an IC title contender elimination chamber qualifier. And Johnny Rocco probably pinned it best. He said the Dark Stalker goes on some couple losing streaks, but then he goes on some wins, and we probably are on the upswing as he was able to defeat the Super Champion King, which I'm pretty sure he just lost to a week or so ago. So he'll be in the chamber now, fighting for the IC title. God dang. Now, our next one saw Red Death taking on Starlin J, who controlled the match for the world title contender elimination chamber qualifier. And for most part, the Queen looked like she was going to win till she made a fatal mistake, folks. And Red Death was able to pin her and pick up the win, thus continuing her losing streak and world title qualifier matches. Thank God she's a good IC champ. Gee whiz. Oh, I heard Philip was not too happy about that one. So, yeah, she'll be hearing that later. Because Philip is back. Hopefully he's safe wherever he's at. He's not in the studio with me. He's somewhere else. Oh, God. I fear for him. So we should probably call him and tell him. What do you mean he's got better security than we do? Screw you, dude. But that's all we have, folks. Stay tuned to the WPA page as the announcement for matches at the Elimination Chamber this upcoming weekend come out. Enjoy the 2 days of rest. You're gonna need it. I'm Johnathan T. Rokford. And I'm going to be going into hiding. So you mean to tell me who decided to have a match at Fairfield? 50 million asylums around the world. They pick the one asylum where dipshits at. Cut this camera off. Good evening, WPA. I have returned from across the pond where I was taking a guest, shall say, enjoying the luxuries of being from the greatest place in the world, South Wales. My cousin was being knighted. Hopefully he should come and do a visit here soon. Hello, family. But enough about that rubbish. Tonight we're here to talk about my pick of the week, and it is quite an impressive pick. It is a story of overcoming the greatest odds, of a downfall, of one picking oneself up and reaching for the gold. This week's pick is the incomparable fellow European Shona Campbell. Miss Campbell, after being holed up in some drivel of a place, was able to overcome those odds. And it's evident she trained very hard, because now she is the triple threat champion. So now she's a triple threat champion. We have the Lady Assassin, who is once again the TV champion, making it must-see TV. And then there's the Queen, who's the Intercontinental champion. That's 3 ladies holding titles. And while we're on the subject of the Queen, I don't know what is wrong with you, Queen. I am quite disappointed in you lately. You have been having failures qualifying for world title shots. I don't care how many people are involved in the match. You're the Queen. You take them out. But back to my pick. Miss Campbell, I applaud you and I tip my hat to you, as only a true gentleman can. Would you mind being quiet and recording? What was I? Ah, yes. As only a true champion can... What is going on? What happened to the lights? Who is that? Excuse me, sir. How dare you interrupt me while I'm filming? Why, I ought to... What? Ah! Get off of me! How dare you! Ah! Somebody help me! Oh! Oh, God! Yeah, that's better. Pretty interesting concept here. How you doing, folks? If you don't know who I am, I'm Johnny Rocco. And we interrupt this program to bring you a very sinister message. If you think you're gonna talk shit about us and get away with it, let's just say think twice about that. Are you okay, Philip? Little twat. You know what, Queen? You're right. You apologized. I think I can forgive you now.